Thank you all for tuning into Big Mama Story Time. Story Time! Don't forget to like, subscribe, comment to my page. Here we go. Hi guys, thank you all for tuning into Big Mama Story Time on today. Today I will be reading to you all a Disney princess adventure story. I've already read some of these books. I will put in the description the other stories I've read so far. Let's get to the one that I'm on right now. It's been a minute, guys, but I will put those descriptions in. This is one of my big books. All right, this one that I will be reading to you guys today, it is, as you can see, The Little Mermaid, The Quest for the Purple Pearl. All right, guys, let's get into this. Hope you like it. Hope I like it. Wah! A voice wailed in the dressing room of King Triton's underwater castle. Swimming by, Ariel stopped short. She knew that voice. It was her sister, Adella, and she sounded upset. Ariel swam closer and peeked into the room, and Adella wasn't alone. Aquata, another sister, was with her. You can't let anyone see you. You have a bad case of the bubbles. Aquata was saying to Adella, it's from eating too much seaweed. The bubbles? Adella asked. She turned and Ariel gasped. Adella's face was covered with pink and green polka dots. Daddy warned me not to eat too much seaweed, Adella said. If he sees me like this, I'll be in so much trouble. She hiccuped and pink and green bubbles floated up. Aquata frowned. Bubbles are serious. There is a cure, but it's almost impossible to find. Pearl lotion made from a purple pearl. They grow inside triple-banded sea oysters. Adella whimpered. Don't those oysters eat merfolk? Sometimes, Aquata admitted. Ariel bit her lip. Poor Adella, she needed help. I know that's right. Yes, she do. Later in her treasure grotto, Ariel told Flounder she was going to find a purple pearl. You're going to do what? Flounder exclaimed. But the only place to get one is from a triple-banded sea oyster, and they live in Blackbeard's trench. That means you'll have to cross the barbed sea kelp forest. Ariel shrugged. Adella needs help. I can't tell them I'm going because they'd worry, but someone has to get the cure. Besides, I've been in kelp forest before. Not like this one, Flounder said. This kelp is huge. He spun in a circle. There's a riptide. Each strand of sea kelp is covered in thorns, and the spaces in between them are tiny. Don't be such a guppy, Ariel said. She swung her collecting sack over her shoulder. Are you coming? Flounder didn't like being called a guppy, so together he and Ariel headed off to find the purple pearl. Oh man, Flounder, you let her talk you into that, huh? Go figure. The ocean path leading to the kelp forest was dark and very quiet. Even though Ariel had told Flounder not to be afraid, she started to get cold fears herself as they swam along. Up ahead was the barbed sea kelp forest. Ariel gulped. Everything Flounder had said was true. A wide riptide raced through the kelp. The spaces between the strands were barely wide enough for a small mermaid like her to fit through. But the worst part was the thorns. Each one was 6 inches long. Even though she was scared, Ariel thought about Adella's polka dotted face. She had to help her sister. With the flip of her fins, she entered the kelp forest. Carefully, she slid between two strands. There, that wasn't so bad. She wove between 3 more strands. No thorns touched her. She could do this. Let me go ahead, Flounder said, trying to be brave. I'm smaller than you. Good thinking. Ariel said. She followed his blue tail. Was it her imagination, or were the strands now even closer together? I don't think it was your imagination, Ariel, but we will see. This way! Flounder called. Ariel swam after him. A thorn scratched her arm. Flounder zipped through another gap, but it was too tight for Ariel. Flounder, I can't get through, she cried. His little face appeared in the gap. I'll help. He held the kelp aside with his mouth. Better. But there still wasn't enough space. Ariel felt the pull of the riptide behind her. The current was growing stronger. As Ariel watched the riptide force the kelp strands apart, this gave her an idea. What if she rode the riptide like a dolphin in the surf past the thorns? Watch out, Flounder, she cried. I'm coming through. At just the right moment, Ariel launched herself into the rushing water. The current carried her straight through a gap in the kelp. Not a single thorn scratched her. On the other side, Ariel tumbled head over tail before grabbing onto the anchor of a shipwreck to stop herself. She pushed the hair out of her eyes. That was fun, she cried. They didn't have time to waste. Ariel needed to get that pearl and get back to her sister. The pair swam until a giant crack split the seabed in front of them. Blackbeard's trench, Flounder whispered. Ariel inched up to the edge and peered down far below her. The trench was lit by what looked like a golden glow. There goes! Here goes! Ariel said, taking a deep breath. They swam deeper and deeper and deeper. Finally, they reached the very bottom of Blackbeard's trench. All around them, triple-banded sea oysters were scattered like flowers in a strange underwater garden. Their shells were open and nestled inside. Each one was a shimmering, glowing pearl. They do look beautiful, though, guys. Gotta be honest with that one. They don't look very scary, do they, Ariel? Flounder asked. Ariel shook her head. In fact, the triple-banded sea oysters were some of the prettiest creatures she'd ever seen. It was hard to believe they would ever eat a mermaid. Maybe it's just a myth, Ariel said. I'll just swim in and... No! Flounder grabbed Ariel's tail and pulled her back. We've got to be sure. He took a branch of driftwood in his mouth and tossed it into the closest oyster shell. Snap! The shell chomped the driftwood in half. Ariel sighed. How was she going to get one of the pearls to cure her sister without getting hurt? Maybe there was something in her collecting sack that could help. She emptied it out. Inside, she found a dingle hopper, 2 gizmos, and a snarf block. What in the world? Tucked in the corner of the bag was a long feather with a pointy tip. Her friend Scuttle had called it a mimble doodle. That's crazier. Okay. That's no help, Flounder said. We need a hook or a long rope or something. But a gleam had come into Ariel's eyes. She picked up the feather. Don't be so sure, she said. She's finna tickle them open. Ariel tied the feather to the end of a stick. Using some seaweed, she snuck close to one of the oysters. Then she ran the feather gently across his pink side. She braced herself for the shell to snap shut, but instead the oyster shuddered. It shook. It went, oh! Ariel dropped the feather and backed away. Ha! Choo! With a mighty sneeze, the purple pearl shot out of the oyster's mouth and straight into Ariel's hands. Flounder did a backflip. Bullseye! He yelled. What does that mean? Ariel asked, confused. The fish shrugged. I don't know. I heard Scuttle say it once. Together they swam up out of Blackbeard's trench and rode the riptide back across the barbed sea kelp forest. The ocean was still dark and quiet, but the glow from the purple pearl lit their way. Aw, that's nice of her. She did all of that for her sister. That's what's up. Adella, I got it! Ariel called as she swam into the mermaid's dressing room. Adella and Aquata were brushing their hair in front of mirrors. Got what, dear? Adella asked. She turned around and Adella's face was completely clear. You're cured? Ariel exclaimed. But how? I overheard you and Aquata talking about how Bubbles... Aquata laughed. Oh, bubbles go away on their own, she said with a wave of her hand. I was just pulling Adella's fin with that story about the purple pearl lotion. You didn't believe it, too, did you? Flounder's jaw dropped, but Ariel quickly smiled. Oh, me? Believe that story? Of course not. She hid her glowing collecting bag behind her back and quickly swam out of the room. Oh, wow, that was bogus, guys, but at least she got a pearl she could have. And it's beautiful. Later, Ariel slid the beautiful pearl out of the collecting sack. It shimmered brightly. She winked at Flounder. It would have been a shame to turn it into a lotion anyway, she said, and I know a much better place for it than in a bottle. Flounder grinned. That meant there were going to be a very special addition to Ariel's treasure grotto. All right, guys, that is the end of that. The next one is Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs. All right, guys, I'm not going to be reading that for you today, but maybe another time. All right, guys, that is Disney's Princess Adventure Stories. And that was Ariel and her on her adventures. All right, guys. Thank you all for tuning in. Please don't forget to like, share, comment, and subscribe on my page if you haven't done so already. Also, thank you guys so much. I really appreciate it. My voice kind of going out, guys. That's why I haven't been really doing many videos. It goes in and out, but I just had to get something out now because I want to get just post these videos for you guys. But I do thank you guys for tuning in and viewing my videos and giving me thumbs up when you like it and commenting on them. I really do appreciate it, and I read them all, and I appreciate each and every one of them. All right, guys, thank you. Oh, I also wanted to give a shout out to my niece and my nephew. Mommy, if you hear this, hi, love you guys. And Javon, I love you also. All right, guys, thank you. Bye.